CM Punk to WWE confirmed. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Coming for Bob. There's always my good friend Hollywood Frank.
It's me.
And we are here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You're getting all the good news in wrestling, except for last week when we were on a Wednesday because shit got weird.
Yeah,
but
most Tuesday nights.
Yeah, most Tuesday nights. But interesting week. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of things to talk about. But first up, let's check in real quick, see who's here early. Leg Kick says, "Hail the Wrestling Council." What's up, Leg Kick? Appreciate you being here, brother. Hey, Big Daddy, the Guardian of Chaos. Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. You know what we say?
Hey, yo.
Appreciate it, guys. Check out Big Daddy as always. Oh shit! What do we got here?
He's here.
Hardcore, rock hard, Johnny. What's up, man?
Sick as a dog. How about you guys?
Actually, kind of sick myself, man. But we're alive.
I'm feeling good, baby. Woohoo!
Yep, Frankie started his new job. Everything's coming up roses. Interesting week, man. Interesting week. Couple things happened. We had a new title revealed on WWE Raw. We'll talk about how we feel about that.
Let's see a Punk backstage at Raw for a little bit.
PunkWatch 2023 continues to be ridiculous. People freaking out, losing their minds over CM Punk showing up at Raw the other night. Everybody's thinking,
I feel marvelous.
You look marvelous.
But Vince McMahon sticking his finger in.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Even not there, he's still there.
Yep. And just a lot going on, man. A lot going on. But before we do anything else, let's go ahead. We talk about our little segment, our favorite segment. There's something we call the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're the first this week, right?
It's me. It's me.
What you got, brother? What's
HW, baby? Oh man. Yeah. So what?
Oh, hang on.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hello.
What's up? What's up?
But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, brother. Go ahead.
That's right. What's good? Oh man. I feel free. I feel free again, man. I feel free. So I'm happy with my new job.
Cool.
So it's good.
Well, Ospreay was cleared.
We'll talk about the new title later, so I'm not going to worry about that.
Yeah.
My good. Probably the best match of the last week was Gunther, Walter, whatever you want to call him, versus Xavier, former King of the Ring Woods. It's a banger of a match, man.
Dude, Gunther's so freaking good, man. That guy can wrestle anybody and make it a 4-star match.
And if he is not, he needs to be in the title picture for that new title we'll talk about later. It'd be a travesty if he's not.
I was actually in that 3-way at WrestleMania. I was actually kind of hoping he would lose so that he could just go after the world title. Yeah, that he's too good to not be in the world title scene.
The bad. Man. Marina Shafir versus Ty Valkyrie.
I had a feeling that was gonna,
Good
dude.
God.
Dude, here's the thing, man.
Contrast of styles, and Shafir is not that good.
She's not ready. She's not ready to be in the ring. She's not ready to be. She's not ready to be on prime time, man. She's what was it? She's dude. And this is saying a lot. She's almost as bad as Paige Van Zandt. Remember that match with Paige Van Zandt a year ago?
Yeah.
And then she disappeared, and we never saw her again. I give her. I give anybody who steps in between those ropes credit, man. That's some ballsy shit. But man, she does not. She needs to be on Dark. She needs to not be on.
She don't.
No. Dark's where she needs to be. That's where she needs to develop.
She needs to be on those house shows.
Too.
That's one of those promos that I showed you guys last year. Comes
I know.
up again.
Trust me, I remember. It was probably the worst promo I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's saying a lot. Yep. But she's got to. You got to give her reps. You got to give her time to work. Dark and Elevation is where she belongs. She doesn't belong on Aid. She doesn't belong on Dynamite. She doesn't belong on Rampage.
Nope.
So, and not even just to be fed to somebody. She's just not there. And that's not me being mean. It's just observation. But I had a feeling that was going to be yours.
Yeah, it's just they really don't have. I mean, I guess you call it Dark and Elevation. They're NXT. They're minor leagues, but they really don't have anything like NXT. I'll give them credit. I mean, it's your minor leagues for WWE, but you're taking away people that deserve to be on TV and giving it to Marina Shafir.
Yeah. And again, like I said, she needs to get reps. She needs to get better, but she doesn't need to be getting better on your primetime shows.
No. My ugly, I talked about it before, but it's like, he's interjecting himself again in creative, and it's going to hurt the product. You got segments that are being cut, women's segments that are being thrown out. You had Tamina there, and her segment got thrown out. You had who was supposed to be setting up a match? Zelina Vega was supposed to be setting up a match. That got thrown out.
Legado del Fantasma, they're done.
Like it ran smooth with Triple H. You had no rewrites, no changes.
Very few.
During the show. He didn't change it during the show.
Yeah.
And it's just
we knew this was going to happen, though.
If you're a woman there, you're unless you're Charlotte Flair,
yeah,
you're not getting anything.
Well, and now I think Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you're not one of their
title holder or the top, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah. Well, it's because Vince doesn't care. Vince cared about women's wrestling when it was all TNA.
Yeah,
because that's what he was into. He doesn't care. That's why he left Stephanie in charge of it. And now that Stephanie isn't there to kind of post for them, this is what we're seeing.
Yeah, it was all bras and panties with Stacy Keibler and
yep,
and
don't get me wrong, man.
Troy Wilson and all them.
As much as I like that just as much as any other red-blooded American man. But yeah, it's. Yeah, women. The WWE's women's division, as bad as AEW's women's division is, because they got all this talent, but they got no storylines and no direction. WWE's is almost as bad.
And if you're Tamina, I mean, wherever you're coming from, flying or driving, you're there. You're packing your bags. You're going out there. You're renting a car. You're getting there. You get out because it said she was there in the parking lot, and CM Punk ran into her. You're getting into the building, and he's like, "Well, See
Got
ya.
nothing for you.
Go to catering or go because
Yeah.
your segment is not happening tonight.
Big Daddy, I'm back. I had to take a Vince and wipe my gun. That's about the way it is right now, man. I'll tell you what. Both of the guys that are in charge of both of the two biggest wrestling companies in the world, they need to take a hard, look at themselves. So, let's see here. Legkick said, "Good, Drolistico versus El Hijo del Vikingo." Yeah, that's supposed to be really good. I didn't get a chance to see it. Bad, overhyped Punk appearance. Yeah. Hey, Courtney, what's up, girl? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, and then like, look, Vince, look, when we all knew this was going to happen. All right, even though Vince and for a couple of weeks, Vince didn't do a whole lot of interjecting. He didn't have a lot of input going on with the daily shows, but we knew that was eventually going to happen. Because he can't help himself. He has to. It's Vince. He's a micromanager. He has to be in charge. And we all knew that was going to happen, man. Yeah. Oh, I got it, man. Stop. I got it. The Punk to me, the parking lot video looked like a degenerate selling a soccer mom some Oxycontin. The industry is becoming oversaturated. Yeah, that's why I don't like the idea of a Saturday show. I would rather that they moved Rampage to a different time slot and then gave it 2 hours instead, and then you have two 2-hour shows. 5 hours of primetime television, and then was it 4 hours on social media? That's a lot, man.
It's just more wrestling Rob and I have to watch before we do our podcast.
Barely do it this week. Commander versus Jay was good. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, I agree. I think the industry, I think it's becoming oversaturated as well. I mean, with social media being so readily available to everybody, and then you throw in Ring of Honor, which is another 2-hour show. That's a lot. That is a lot, man. I mean, and that's just AEW.
Yeah, WWE does have 3 shows, Big Daddy. So it's 3 shows for AEW on TV.
But AEW doesn't. Well, yeah, and one of those shows is 3. And we've said that they had too much. We said that Raw should be 2 hours. It's too hard to keep people's interest for 3 hours. It'll never happen because of the revenue, the ad revenue that they'll get. MLW had 2 shows. Yeah. New Japan in Washington D.C. Good show. I did not get a chance to watch that yet. Leg kick. I will be watching it though. A lot of guys calling out a lot of guys from New Japan. So we should start seeing them start some setup for Forbidden Door 2 here very shortly.
Hopefully we see that NWA Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, in All In.
All in, yeah. That's another question that they haven't answered yet. Is there going to be an all out show this year? So, I mean, if there is, then there's going to be like AEW is going to have 3 shows within like a month and a half of each other. That's a lot for them. So, Impact Wrestling is on the rise. I love it, dude. Impact's got some good talent. They really do. ROH taping after the Long Island Dynamite had way too many matches. We had to leave at 11 p.m. and there were still 7 more matches after that, all unannounced. Wow. Holy crap.
What time did you get there, Hicks Villain?
Yeah, that's jeez. I didn't wait a minute. ROH taping after the Long Island Dynamite. The ROH taping. Did they have some ROH matches added to the end of Dynamite? Because ROH has their own arena that they do their shows in.
Yeah, he mentioned that on Twitter, I think, the other day. But
okay,
I don't know. Hicks Villain. Oh, got there at 6.
Elevation at 7. So 4 hours already, and you got damn. Yeah, Nick Aldis is back in Impact. I saw that. There's another
Yes.
guy that
Yeah, so
WWE lost out on.
Yeah.
Crockett Cup's coming up. Yep.
Yeah, so Hicks only got there at 6. He left at 11. That's 5 hours. You still have 7 more matches. So that's
just 2 hours.
yeah.
Jeez, dude. That's like WrestleMania 2019, man. It was like 6.5 hours long. Forget that. But okay, so my GBU, my good AEW sells 55,000 plus in pre-sale tickets for All In 2. So everybody that was saying that they had no chance of selling this thing out, it's like you said, Frank. If half of those pre-sales bought 2 tickets, that's 80,000 right there.
Yeah.
So I still don't think they're going to get 90,000, but they're going to get a lot closer than everybody thought they were going to.
Now, I saw the prices of the tickets ringside, like right around ringside. You see how much they were?
They were like $600. I thought I thought that they said they were. What were they?
Right at ringside, like right there.
Oh, like the very first row.
Yeah, and you get a chair to take home with you.
No, I didn't see it.
I don't know how much I think it's 1,200 pounds, which is about $1,500.
Jeez,
in U.S. money.
Yeah,
1,200 pounds.
He could sell my ticket on that. I ain't paid $1,500 for a ticket to anything. God Lord, man, I wouldn't pay $1,500 for the second coming of Christ. He's all knowing. He can see us from the back. But no, like I'm really happy that they've done that. It's done this well. And like you said, I think they're probably going to hit around 70,000. I think that's going to be a pretty easy mark for them to hit, considering the pre-sale.
Yeah,
and but I'm telling you what, man, they've got to put on a killer show.
Well, didn't the E always exaggerates their numbers, so I don't know. I can't remember the exact number they had for SummerSlam out there at Wembley.
Yeah, well,
they said 80,000.
Yeah, well, and then Vince said that one of the things that they do is like all the people that are working there, they find out how many people are working there and they add them to the total as well. So if you've got 1,000 people, working there, there's an extra 1,000 you could pad your numbers with. But yeah, they've always done that. So
that account the homeless around outside the stadium.
Yeah, and how many bugs are here? Oh. Why is Batman so quiet tonight, Johnny Cage? I'm paging you. What, Johnny? Say something.
Sorry.
I know you said you're sick, man.
Things are bad.
Yeah. So speaking of bad, my bad. WWE thinks they can clone Sasha Banks, which might be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Oh my God. And this, but this gives you an idea of why they decided that they didn't want to bring her back and pay her. Cause I can't remember what her name is for NXT, but they think that they can turn her into the next Sasha Banks.
Hey, if the First Order can clone Palpatine, they can clone Sasha.
But just like I don't know, man. The idea that she's that she doesn't have any kind of intangibles, that she didn't bring anything to that that character, the work that she put in the ring, obviously, and they're just like, oh yeah, we could just make another one of her. Really? Well, I don't hear them saying that about Charlotte. I don't hear them saying that about Becky. I don't hear them saying that about Bailey.
Sort of like a fake Kane and a fake Diesel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that popped in my head. It's like, these are the same people that thought that they could bring somebody in, call them Diesel and Razor Ramon, and everybody would be just like, oh, they're just as good. Dude, that's got to be a Pritchard thing. That has to be a Pritchard thing going on where he's saying that or something, or a Dunn. Oh my God, that's just that. When I heard that, man, it hurt my brain how stupid it was. She is no longer IWGP champion, but she did say she wants to continue working with Stardom. She wants to elevate Stardom kind of the way that she did with the WWE Women's Division. Now, a lot of people are giving her crap because she's doing some over the top things out there, but people don't understand that in Joshi wrestling, that's the norm. Like, look at some of the promos that Kenny Omega cut. He sounds like a freaking comic book villain. You know, Cora Jade has potential, but she won't hit Banks level. Yeah, Cora Jade, that's the one that they said that they're going to turn her into the new Sasha Banks, which I was just like, yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But that was my bad. And the ugly for me this week was Chavo Guerrero coming out saying he's tired of Rey Mysterio and others prostituting Eddie's name. So he made a comment about this a while back. Well, it was who was it? It was Conan. Conan made a comment about this and then said he was just joking. Yeah, she said she's Sasha Monet is way overrated, especially now. I think she's in a weird place right now, Big Daddy. I don't think she's overrated. I think that right now she's doing some weird stuff because she's trying to fit in with the whole Joshi style, and Joshi style is weird, man. You either like it, you either love it to death, or you hate its guts. Like Cornette can't stand it. Yeah. Chavo's just whining because nobody cares about him. Well, I will say this. I've noticed, I think it's the whole thing with Dom and Ray, that whole storyline. I think that brought it up a lot more than it has in the past years. In the last couple of years, people invoking Eddie has been way higher than it has been maybe the last 10, 12 years before that. So it's been happening a lot. A lot of people have been doing it whenever they're in his hometown. Wrestlers do the shimmy and they do the Three Amigos. Yep. A lot of people are doing it. Now, I don't think they're doing this trying to prostitute Eddie's name. I think they're genuinely doing it because they're trying to be respectful. But when everybody's doing it, it can be, and I do think that there is some of that. I think that Chavo is a little, he's always been a little envious of the fact that he never reached the heights that they did. But I also think that he's very protective of Eddie's name because that he loves him, that's a member of his family. So, considering LW's jobbing everywhere, coming out to Viva La Raza, Chavo isn't 100% wrong. No, that's what I'm saying. I think WWE and again, I think this is Vince, because Vince has no problem capitalizing on tragedy. Okay, I think he saw how popular the storyline between Ray and Dominic has been, and he's like, well, let's get some more of it out there, and yeah. Vince, this feels like that whole thing feels like Vince. So on one hand, I think most of the people that are doing these little tributes and stuff like that, I think they're just doing it out of respect. Yeah. But at the same time, I think WWE is leaning into it hard, and I can kind of feel what Chavo's saying. AAA are wrestlers becoming pretty more prevalent than 10 years ago, really. Yeah, well, that's because a lot of promotions are doing cross promotion now. And really you can think, we can thank All Out for that. The original All Out that kind of started this new renaissance of wrestling, and almost like a territory feel where wrestlers were going back and forth. And it's giving a lot of these AAA guys who we don't see on North American television a lot. It's giving them a chance to shine and show, really how good they really are. Sasha will not get over in Japan. I think she's having trouble getting over there. I don't think the Japanese audience is as aware of her as the Western audience is. I think if Sasha really wants to have an impact, no pun intended, she needs to go to either AEW or Impact. I think those are the places where she will thrive the most. And she can still have that touchstone with Japan if she wants to, just like Moxley does. And especially now with IWGP having an official women's title, you can defend that thing all around the nation, all around the world. So,
and you talk about the E usually doesn't carry on stories from years ago, but the whole Ray Dominic son versus father,
yeah,
we've been watching it forever, and that whole thing started years ago with is Ray Eddie's son or Ray's son. It's just is Dom his son or Eddie's son, and it's just you knew it was eventually going to cap. They were going to use that somewhere.
Oh yeah. The thing is I think because it has been as popular as it has been the last during this storyline with Dominic and his dad, I think Vince kind of saw dollar signs. He was like, "Oh man, we can really do something with this. Let's go," And I think that's what happened. I think that's what's happening. And
Vince, we said it before, he didn't like guys who couldn't speak English, but you had these guys in AAA and CMHL that were getting over, and you had to get them up here sooner or later to be able to get into that market and be worldwide like the E is right now.
Yeah. But and like I said, man, I think I get what he's saying. I don't think it's intentional, at least not from the wrestlers who are doing it. I think I do think that Vince is being a little exploitive though. Jay needs a high profile 60th win. Why not with Monet? Dude, I wouldn't be against them bringing her in and having her beat Jade. Build a freaking feud. Like, let's build a legitimate feud. Like we know what the plan was with Jade. It was going to be her and Statlander. They were going to build a feud because when you saw the two of them standing across from each other, that's when people realized just how big freaking Chris Statlander is. She's a tall, big lady. Okay, she's a Charlotte Flair size person. So Vince doesn't like wrestlers who can't speak English, but what about Ultimate Warrior and his gibberish? Dude, Vince saw Warrior's pecs and just lost himself.
Yeah.
That's what happened with friggin' Warrior, man. Vince was like, I don't care if he's monosyllabic. I don't care if he runs out to the ring and he's blown up after 3 minutes. This guy's the future. Put the belt on him.
Yeah, he likes the big guys.
Yep. And to be fair, man, that crap, that was all the rage in the 80s, man. That helped. Those big roided out dudes, they helped turn the WWE into what it is. So, but all right. So real quick, we're gonna get into the CM Punk stuff, but first we got to talk about
Johnny. Does Johnny have any GBU?
Oh yeah, Johnny, you got anything?
No.
GBU?
I got a lot of bad in my nose right now, but we can move on from that.
Okay. Yeah, Johnny's not feeling good. Yeah. It's not hard to do, old school Vince. I'll give it an injection of poison. You got to close one eye slightly. Yeah. It's almost like Rocky without the slur. But all right.
Time to talk about the big announcement. Hey, we got another one. Oh, it's your belt thing. It's your belt. Yeah.
It's my belt. Yeah. All right. So
yeah. The big announcement from yesterday.
The big announcement was this thing. And at first glance, now it was hard to see the detail on this thing when they had it on screen at the show. Looking at it, it's not as bad as and I'm just talking about the design. We'll talk about whether or not they needed another damn belt in a minute. The design is not as bad as I initially thought it was. I still think the WWE logo is way too big. I think that logo needs to be smaller, and the world champion letters need to be a little bit. Well, they don't need to be bigger. The whole thing, the detail is washed out in the light. You can't see the detail properly. What they need to do is they need to put some patina on this thing so you can see the detail.
They just gotta get rid of the globe.
Get rid of the globe.
Yeah.
I actually
just
don't
that.
mind the globe. The WWE logo, I
One,
think, is the
one,
thing that's
one or the
really
other.
better.
Both is too much.
Yeah,
One or the other.
the globe, I think the whole thing, the whole centerpiece needs to be smaller, about half the size that it is right there.
Yeah,
The
when I first saw
the W doesn't need to be there because it's on both sides.
yeah, I
Okay.
couldn't even tell those were lions on the side of the filigree.
Yeah,
when I
well,
first
nobody
saw
could,
it.
and nobody could tell that on the side, the lion's eyes are diamonds.
Yeah,
There's a diamond, and because of the way it looks like the friggin' lions are in pain. So, but they could have took the WWE logo and just put it at the world on the W for the world title and the world championship up there. Just put the logo there and just have the globe there. I think that would have looked way better. But as we know, Vince, the brand is the star with him. So I guarantee you, he put his 2 cents into this thing, and that's why that giant W is there. Now you look at the design of this thing. Tell me if you think I'm on the same page here. I think this is a nod to the big gold belt. This is the nod to the big gold, the old world championship, the old WCW world championship belt, AKA the big gold belt that Ric Flair had, is famous for wearing. I think this is a nod to that, or an attempted nod to that. Now, whether you think they succeeded, that's a different story. But I think that's the design pedigree for this belt, especially because you look at the top part of the belt where it's got those waves. That's very indicative of the old NWA / WWE World Title. But like I said, the big W in the middle and the globe kind of shatters that illusion. If it had just been, I guarantee you, dude, if this thing had just been all this gold filigree and stuff, and that logo wasn't in there, and then right there at the bottom, you see where the 2 screws are, where the nameplate would normally go for on the old belt. If they had just taken that out of there and just left that in there, I guarantee you that fans would be a lot more receptive of this belt. Hicksville said, "I like it, even though it's a 3rd tier main championship. You know, it's not a terrible belt. It's not a terrible design. It's just that like the centerpiece is just too gaudy to me. It breaks the illusion of the rest of the belt, and it's unnecessary because you got the 2 side plates.
right.
Now, what they're probably going to do is for those side plates, that's where they're going to make the custom side plates for whoever the champion is. So those will probably go away, and that's why the WW is in the middle there. It doesn't need to be that big, though. I feel like it doesn't give the belt its character. So what do you guys think? Oh, sure, Malicino, no problem there. Hey, welcome to the Wrestling Council, guys. We're going to start all over because Mal wasn't here.
I don't like it.
Time out. Let's start over.
Yep. What do you got? What do you think?
Well, I agree with something Lance Storm texted out earlier or tweeted out earlier. Is this a new champion? Is this a new championship belt with 0 lineage, or is it replacing one of the ones Roman Reigns holds and inheriting that lineage? Are there now 2 or 3 world title belts in WWE?
I think what's going to happen.
No, this is the no one can beat Roman, so they had to make a new belt.
Yeah. Right, but now there's three world titles. Well, in the E, because Roman Reigns has 2.
Yeah, my understanding is, and this comes from and take this with a grain of salt, comes from some people that it's not WWE has not verified any of this. They're going to retire the 2 belts that Roman has, and he's going to be given a new belt of his own. And that is the belt. And everyone's saying that this belt right here, this is the one that Cody's going to win. I don't think so.
That would be the worst thing that could happen.
The freaking internet would burn the fucking WWE down like Oakland lost twice if they do that. That's not what they're going to happen. That's not what's going to happen. I think Cody is going to go after the belt that Roman has. I think either if it were me, I would put this belt on Gunther, or Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins. So I would put that on one of my other top guys.
Right.
We're gonna see because, like I said, it's gonna be whoever wins at was it Clash of Champions?
Either way,
next
right now, this is just like the TNT title. It's a secondary belt, no matter what they say.
yeah.
All I know is I like my belt better.
Frank's fantasy football belt.
Yeah.
But as far as tell me what you guys think as far as the design. Do you think I'm on the right track where I say that Hunter wanted this to kind of resemble the big gold belt?
He did.
Yeah.
But,
because that's the design pedigree I see in this thing.
Now, what you're talking about with Cody Rhodes, I agree. I mean, don't just put on Cody Rhodes to give him a belt because that's not what he came there for.
Yeah, he came here to get the belt.
Just be given a token belt.
Yeah.
But if you give Roman Reigns a one belt, and they said that whoever drafts Roman Reigns, he's going to be on that show. Okay,
yeah, and that show only.
Yeah, right.
Which is bullshit.
They said that before.
I expect this brand split to last about as long as a snow cone in hell.
But you cannot have. He's going to go to SmackDown. He's going to stay on SmackDown. This belt is for Raw. So, but you've got to now. Which belt does this represent? Does it represent the Universal or the World WWE Championship? Or is it just a new belt that starts brand new, like the Universal title was just, it's our first World Universe.
The Undisputed Universal Studios 24/7/11 European Vacation WWE Champion Roman Reigns. Dude, yeah, I was like, they want to take that back to just the Undisputed Champion is what they're doing. What they're basically doing as in function is they're just splitting the belts up again is what they're doing. But like you said, is this supposed to be a completely new championship, or is it the WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt that's been around forever?
And if they're going to have two champions, what are they going to do with the tag titles?
Yep. Same thing. I honestly think they don't have enough tag teams. They don't have enough interest in the tag team division because of Vince. Just unify the belts and have one tag title. That's it.
The Usos are going to win again.
Yeah. Lucas, I agree, man. I think Finn deserves another world title run. I don't think he's going to get it.
No.
But because he's not a Vince guy. But I don't necessarily. I see it as nobody can beat Roman, so all you second place losers can have a belt. So quit crying. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah. Now, if they put this belt on the right person, and they could put some, and like they said, if this is meant to be representative of the old world title, and it has that pedigree to it, and you put this belt on like Gunther, and you just push him to the moon like they have been, you could make this belt mean something. But as it stands right now, it is. This is the secondary belt in WWE.
Yeah, it's going to be defended worldwide.
And honestly, leg kick, bringing that up, Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura should carry it. I see this honestly as a belt that Vince would be okay letting them, because again, this is to Vince, this is just like the Intercontinental title. This is for like the Undisputed title. This for the world champion and the top 4 or 5 guys in your company. This belt is for everybody else.
Don't hold your breath. I don't think Nakamura or Ricochet have a shot at this.
Oh, they never will. Not as long as Vince is calling shots. They'll never be world champion, which is ridiculous. There's only one man that can hold that title, and his name is Dominic. Dude, I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. And here's the thing:
is it Dominic Dijakovic?
Dude, his act is super over. Now, I think it's got a shelf life. Yes, there is only supposed to be one world heavyweight champion. That's tradition. I've said this for years. Big Daddy, you're preaching to the choir, man. I didn't like the fact that they had the belts split up. I understood why they had the belts split up. I did not like it. I felt like it diminished everything else. But yeah, I agree with you. Joe Rogan and Ric Flair on it. It was really good. Did you? Yeah, dude, I watched. Dude, it was freaking awesome. I watched the whole thing. If you guys haven't, yeah. By the way, it's free, guys. Go over, check out Joe Rogan's podcast, and watch that. It's just for the wrestling history that they talked about on there.
Yeah, and what you talked about, or Johnny, they've got a decision to make because you got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens with the titles, and you've got Saudi show coming up in a few months, and they won't. It's Night of Champions. All titles are supposed to be on the line, and they will not be defending their titles in Saudi.
Yep.
So unless
that's why
splitting up the tag titles.
That's why a lot of people think that the Usos are gonna take the belts back, which I think is absolutely a terrible idea. But it's Vince, so LA Knight.
Terrible idea is not gonna stop them.
Yeah, LA Knight would be a good world champion. Yeah. LA Knight is underrated. I actually like LA Knight. Dude, here's a little tidbit about LA Knight. He does the motion. He's the guy that does all the motion capture for the WWE video game. He does everybody's walk. He actually showed himself in doing like Vince's walk and Triple H's entrance and all that stuff. He does all that. He's the motion capture guy. So he's a talented dude. Like some people don't like him. Like Lunga doesn't like him. I like LA Knight. I think he's got a lot to offer. Dude, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing LA Knight. I think it's a little too early for him to be in the world title scene. I'd like to see him in the mid card, like the US title or the IC title run. But definitely at some point in the future, man, that'd be awesome.
No, it was going to be the first title holder. He's going to win the title because Uncle Howdy is going to help Bray Wyatt win the championship.
Dude, you notice that Bray Wyatt hasn't even been on TV? Dude, I think he's done. I think now that Vince is there, Vince is like, get rid of him. In my opinion, the Saudi deal will cease to exist at the world contingent. Yeah, it's very possible, man. Things are getting bad. Knight's great on the mic. Yeah, I agree. Not gonna lie, I don't understand the hype around LA Knight at first, but the more I heard him and saw him compete, the more I liked him. The dude is elite on the mic. Yeah, dude. He's one of those guys that, like, in the ring, he's gonna get better, and he's gonna get better in the ring. He's decent in the ring. He's really good on the stick. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but shades of MJF. So, but as far as this belt is concerned, Joe Gacy is going to be the new Bray. He's better than Bray is right now. It's not saying much, but dude, I don't know what's going on with Bray Wyatt. I kind of feel bad for him, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, you knew what you were getting into when you came back. So, and if the stories are true, and then this is everything that's happened is all Bray, and there's been no interference, then maybe Bray's not as creatively the creative genius that we thought he was, because his gimmick has been dog crap since he came back.
Yeah, if you're his brother, you'd be like, yeah, I'm back on TV.
I'm drawing a paycheck, man. The Dusty Rhodes documentary is really good. Dude, there's a lot of really good documentaries out there. The Miz for Champ is the only good thing to come from clean. Oh my God. Speaking of the Miz, let me go ahead and get rid of this.
Hey, come on! You got the War Dog as champ again in
AEW.
He's got the enforcer by his side now. I'm
100% behind that. Somebody tweeted out like a picture of FTR and Wardlow with and they replaced Tully Blanchard with Arn, and then said alternate in an alternate universe. I was like, I like this universe. I'm 100% behind that, man. But yeah, so the big story out this week, and the latest edition of PunkWatch,
the best in the world.
The best in the world was at Raw, and the collective world lost their shit. Apparently, yeah, Dax did that. Yeah, Maldacino. Yeah, which, by the way, if you're not following that dude on social media, you need to. Can we all agree that the most underrated superstar in the WWE is Chad Gable? Yeah, I definitely. If he's not the most underrated, he's one of the most underrated. And it does look like they're kind of, sort of giving him a little bit of a push. I don't see him and Otis being together for much longer. I think they're going to break up. And I would like to see Chad Gable pushed as a singles guy, and give him the friggin' Brian Danielson treatment.
And you know what? It got so bad that McMahon had to call up to the show, and you're fired.
Yeah, he basically. Well, here. Okay, so here's
fired.
Everybody's wondering what it went down. So here's, from what I've been able to piece together, here's the timeline. Punk was going to be in town for he's doing a fight commentary on an MMA show, I believe. And he also so he's in Chicago. He lives in Chicago. That's where he lived. So he found out that some of the WWE people, and he also found out that the WWE show was going to be there. So he's like, screw it, I'm going to go say hi to my friends. So he got on the plane. He actually flew in with some of the WWE talent. He on the flight up. So he flies into Chicago. He goes there. He goes in with them, and some people said that part of the reason why he went there is that he also, if you guys haven't seen anything on his social media, and if you've heard Dax talking and everything, Punk's kind of on this journey of burying the hatchet with people. And two of the people that he has had serious problems with in the past were Triple H and The Miz. Like they said some nasty shit about each other. Mousy said there will never be a Danielson situation again in WWE. They cooled them down quick now. Yeah, and to be fair, I don't know if Chad Gable can get himself over like Brian Danielson did. But anyway, so Punk came in with some people. He said hi to some people. To the people that he specifically sought out to talk to was The Miz. And apparently the two of them buried the hatchet, and Triple H. And he was talking. He asked Triple H if he could talk to him for a couple of minutes. Apparently they're trying to smooth things over. He asked Triple H if it was okay for him to be there, seeing as he is still contracted with AEW. Phil said, "I'll ask the big guy." We all know who that is. That's good old Vinnie Mac. And Vince McMahon basically said, "Hell no." He's under contract with another company that we could get if the wrong thing gets said, we could be in all kinds of trouble. So no, he's got to go. And then the head of security went to Punk, told him this, and Punk was like, okay, and they walked out. See here, Mount said, when him and Cabana get straight, I'll believe he wants to start rebuilding relationships. Dude, I don't think it's not about rebuilding relationships. It's about burying the hatchet and being like, okay, look, going forward, we can, we don't have to be friends, but, and here's the thing, if he ever decides to go back to WWE, he's going to need to smooth things over. So him and Cabana are never going to make up. The situation between them is completely, let me put it this way. Both of those guys are complicit in the disintegration of that relationship.
Yep.
Cabana was very Punk was, Punk. He's a diva. He's super emotional. And Cabana was basically just being real lackadaisical and not being a very responsible person during that time period. So it's on both of them. Now, Is it possible that they'll be like, listen, we don't got to, like I said, just like what Tony Khan should have sat him down in the beginning and said, you don't have to be friends, but you got to be able to work in the same environment. You don't have to work together. And we're not going to put you in matches, but you got to be able to walk past each other in the hallway without trying to kill each other or starting the shit. That's what should have happened. And is that possible that could happen going forward? Sure. Is it likely? Probably not. Especially considering that to get Punk back on TV, AEW and Time Warner are going to give him his own freaking show.
Yeah.
Which we got to talk about that in a minute. But that's basically what happened with Punk. A lot of people think that he did it as a publicity stunt. I don't think so. I think
not that deep. People want this to be so deep. It's not that deep.
Yeah, everyone thinks everyone wants to think that he's playing 4D chess, and he's not. He's playing checkers. Okay, Punk's an agent of chaos. All right, let me put it to you that way. That's probably like he's kind of like the Joker, man. He just does stuff.
People were freaking out when Ricky Starks was backstage at Raw a couple weeks ago.
I know, yeah, and so this is nothing. This was not Punk, trying to sow discord. This was not Punk trying to make touchdowns in WWE to return there. This was not him trying to shine up AEW. This was just him doing what he does. He's an agent of chaos. What is it? Let me see here. WWE doesn't need Punk, but AEW definitely does, at least short term. I don't think they need him, but if they want to return to where they were and then try to work their way up from there, they definitely. He's the biggest star they have, without a doubt. 110%. So without and with him not be him being on TV for AEW is better than him not being on TV for AEW. Now, in the long term, is having this third show a good idea? Well, technically fourth show, good idea? No, I don't think it is. I think you're diluting the product. Like Punk's Buckshot Lariat.
Yeah, if you have to have a show for one person.
You got problems.
We got to start this show for CM Punk. No, you don't. There you go, Rob.
Again, it's the other way around. The Warner said if they want a new show, they need Punk. It's not a show just for him. It's the other way around.
Well,
you want this new show, we want that guy.
That's what they said. If you want the new show, this guy has to be back on TV. If they had went to them and said, but that's the cart coming before the horse, though. AEW was looking to get Punk back on TV before this new show announcement and the idea of building this new show came up. They just saw this as a way to do it without Tony having to do what we say he's got to do, sacking up and laying down the law and telling everybody, listen, you don't have to be friends, but you got to be able to work together. And what's happening right now is, and I understand, and this is kind of pissing them off, and I get it. The way that this situation is being treated, the way it's being presented, and what Punk is saying, and what Dax is saying, Dax Hardware is saying, they're kind of gaslighting the Bucks on this, because the Bucks, Kenny apparently is not the situation. Kenny apparently is more open to working with Punk again than the Bucks are. The Bucks, it's a hard no. And they're kind of gaslighting the Bucks to make it look like that they're the problem. They're not. The dude punched friggin' Matt Jackson in the face. Okay, I don't give. And they're like, oh, well, you should just move on. Let me come punch you in the face, and then say, hey, you know what? Let's just water under the bridge, man. Let's be cool. Let's give the fans what they want. Screw you, man. It's like. It's like, now is it best for business? Yeah, but Matt Jackson isn't thinking about what's best for business. Matt Jackson is thinking, this asshole punched me in the face. because he got butt hurt because a friend of ours said something about him that he didn't like. Meanwhile, Punk can say whatever he wants about everybody. Like I said, and listen, I'm not saying that there wasn't heat backstage and that it was not fair. Punk. I'm saying Punk didn't have a reason to be upset, but the thing that I come back to is this: none of these guys went to the person that they should have to take care of the situation. Nobody went to Tony Khan.
I think it's worse than that. They went. He didn't do nothing.
It's one of two things. Either they didn't go to Tony Khan, they just acted like a bunch of freaking school kids, or they went to Tony and Tony was just, oh yeah, okay, don't worry, I'll take care of it. But
Like look at the few people that got released from AEW. They can't get Tony on the phone. If he doesn't got something good to tell, he's not going to talk to you.
It was personal. Yeah, it is personal. That and Punk's stupid, unprofessional press. Yeah, well, see that's where Punk went off the rails. Like if they were kind of giving him shit because Tony took Cabana off TV, and he did, and Tony can try to make all the excuses that he wants. Oh, he asked for time off and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, right.
He didn't ask for 9 months off. Okay, because it was about 3 months after Punk got there that he just disappeared from television. And I guarantee you, Tony did that because he didn't want a situation to develop, so he just took him off TV. Now, I think Cabana did have a minor injury that he got over in like a month, and he did ask for permission to work some outside dates. That's not going to keep you off television for almost a year. Okay? Tony took the path of least resistance on this, and he tried to hide the truth. The truth is that he could have taken care of the situation, and he didn't. But also, I think it was both. I don't think they went to Tony, because I think maybe they said something to Tony, and when nothing happened, they were like, well, then we'll just deal with it ourselves. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Let's talk smack about you publicly, run you down, punch you after calling you out, and then you're the bad guy. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're kind of gaslighting the Bucks on this right now, and I don't think that's right. And just because Punk and it says that he's willing to let things go, and okay, great. You're the catalyst of the situation, though, man. So it's not up to you; it's up to them. Didn't the Bucks have Christopher Daniels and another HR person when they went to Punk's room? The other two people, they went with them, and they were outside the room in the beginning, and then they came in after.
Yeah.
When the situation got out of hand. And this is not up for debate. This is the absolute truth of what happened. Punk threw the first punch. He started the fight. Okay? And he literally told them in the media scrum, if you got a problem with me, my door's always open. Come talk to me. And that's exactly what they did. And he started a fight. So but again, the person that I put the onus of this on is Tony Khan. It's his company. He's in charge. The buck stops with him. And he should have dealt with this long before it turned into a thing. And now that it is a thing, he 110% needs to step up and lay it down. So this is how it's going to be. And if you don't like it, and if it's unacceptable, then I don't know what to tell you. Good luck in your future endeavors. So I want CM, let me be very clear. I want CM Punk back on TV. I think he's the biggest draw that the AEW has. I think matches between him and the Elite with the FTR could be epic. And I think the guy is a huge asset. But if you got to split your friggin' company in half to accommodate this guy who's only going to be there for like another year and a half. Okay. And he's probably not going to re-sign because he's probably going to want something so ridiculous that you're not going to give it to him. Don't blow up your company to appease one person.
Yeah. And how many times has he been injured? I mean, if you're building a show around one person, there's no guarantee he's going to be there that long.
Yeah. But that's where we are. That's what I think about the whole CM Punk situation. I think Tony Khan is mismanaging it. I don't think AEW needs a third AEW show, which will put them at 4 shows total. I don't think it's needed. I would say turn Rampage into a 2-hour show and move it to a different time slot.
As long as they have better matches than Shafir versus Valkyrie, yeah.
Dude, you and I could have a better match than Shafir versus Valkyrie.
And Matosito, it's going to be Punk, FTR, and Wardlow with Arn Anderson as their manager. There's your new 4.
I wouldn't be mad about that. But yeah, in closing, what needs to happen with the Punk situation is Tony needs to sack up, or he needs to hire somebody to be his sheriff and do it for him. But the days of him being everybody's friend are over. It's creating chaos in his company. His company's going to disintegrate if he doesn't stop it. So that's how I feel about the situation. I don't know if everybody else does, but that's the way I see it.
Leg kick, I don't know where that WWE possibly making a Warner Brothers deal is going to go, because
that was
nowhere.
So it's not going to go anywhere. They've already extended AEW's contracts, and they're very happy with the revenue and the viewership that they're getting from AEW. Now, would they put feelers out there because WWE's television contracts are coming up? Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? But as far as like, they are not pursuing WWE to come to Turner Network,
because you still have USA, Fox, and ESPN could get involved,
and Saudi Arabia
because of but ESPN because of UFC could get involved.
Yeah, that's a lot of shows. And look at this: Dark Elevation, Rampage, Dynamite, ROH. They've got 5 shows that Tony has to book already. You're gonna add a 6th. He needs he needs a right hand man. He needs someone to run that.
Well, he did have a right hand man. He let him go back to the E.
I know. It was stupid. He needs a Triple H. Yeah, he's got way too, and he's running the freaking football team.
Oh. And he has All Access, which is after Dynamite.
The dude has way too much on his plate. He's trying to be Vince, but the only way Vince could pull off what he did was to be a mean son of a bitch and just basically tell everybody this is the way it's going to be, and I don't care if you like it or not. That's the way Vince was able to micromanage everything, because he made it, his opinion was the only one that mattered, and that was it. Tony is trying to make everybody happy, and he's failing to do either. So, but that's how I feel about the new show. That's how I feel about the new belt.
Arn would be a great booker. Bully Ray, Jim Cornette.
No, dude, Cornette would bury everybody except for
MJF.
MJF.
Then just give him the Saturday show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. I would like to see Cornette book Rampage. Give him Rampage, and let's see what happens. Trying to bring in Bill Watts. Yeah,
because he doesn't like twinkle toes. He doesn't like pockets.
Yeah. FTR would be the tag team champions forever. MJF would be the heavyweight champion forever. Kenny would be fighting for the women's title. That's how low he thinks. That's how down the ladder he thinks of Kenny. He can't stand Sammy Guevara. Jericho is like up or down with him.
Yeah. Pockets.
But anyway, guys, that's our show for this week. Appreciate everyone's here. Leg kick, Matosito, Big Daddy.
I need medicine. I'm out of here.
Yeah, go ahead. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Appreciate it. Lucas, appreciate the insight, man. I agree with you. Chad Gable deserves much, much more than he gets.
3 days. And 3 days. 3 days. The first day of the draft. Aren't you excited?
Okay. that's something we're going to have to look into, because we don't know how they're going to choose this world champion, because it's going to happen during the draft. After the draft is over, someone's going to be the world champion. Are they going to have a tournament or something?
No, they're going to crown him at Tournament of Champions in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but how are they going to choose him, though?
I mean, they're going to have a tournament, I'm sure.
Are they?
Up to it.
They haven't said anything.
No, of course not, because they have the draft this week, Friday and Monday, and next week.
God,
is it next week?
I don't know.
Or is it this weekend that is Backlash? What is Backlash?
When is Backlash? It's 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
I thought it was
Backlash. No, not Background. WWE Backlash.
May 6th. So,
okay, yeah.
Next.
So not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. So about a week and a half.
Yeah.
All right.
So you'll have the draft this Friday and Monday to get everything set for Backlash on Saturday, the following Saturday.
How can Sammy win if he's not going to be in Saudi? Everybody love everybody! Come on! Everybody love everybody. I don't know where this is going to end, but yeah. Thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate it. See you next week. I swear to God.